I want to do my best, the best that I can do in that moment. When the camera starts until it stops. That moment I want to be perfect. As perfect as I can make it. I used to go to movies on Saturday night when, for instance, when I worked in a factory, and that was my only time that I could enjoy myself, really, that I really relaxed and enjoyed. And this is on tape. We're trying to think. Excuse us. And so I used to be very disappointed if I went to a movie, because I waited all week to go to the movie. And I worked hard for the money that I spent. And if I went to a movie and it was a bad movie, or I thought people didn't do their best, kind of did it sloppy or something, I really was mad, angry when I left, because then I didn't have anything to go on for a whole week. I'd wait for another week. So I always feel that I work for the ones who work hard, and they go to the box office and put down their money and they want to be entertained, or I always feel I do it for them. But I do care because I know how the others feel. They worked hard all week. And my favorite stars then? Oh, I liked anybody who was good. Sometimes they'd be good, sometimes they wouldn't, depend. Oh, well, that was when I was very small. That's when I was 7 years old. When I was 7 years old, my favorite was Jean Harlow. And the reason why she was my favorite, because she had white hair and I had white hair. And they used to call me towhead. I don't know how you'd say it in French, but it was white hair instead. And I dreamed of having golden hair, but instead mine was white. And so when she had white hair, I felt sort of close to her, because she had white hair, I had white hair. And Clark Gable, I'm sure he won't mind if I say it, because in a Freudian sense, it's supposed to be very good. I used to always think of him as my father. I pretended that he was my father. I never pretended anyone was my mother. I don't know why. But I always pretended he was my father. I was just 7 years old, and he was a very young man, and I thought that's how I wanted my father to look. Love, I think it's a rare thing, and not to be discounted at all, not to be pushed away in a corner. I find that's why I like poetry, I think, also. They don't discount it. They take it for its worth, its value. It's one of the most important things that ever happens to us. I think the most important thing. I think love and work are the only things that really happen to us. And everything else is just, doesn't really matter. And I think one without the other isn't so good. I think they both need, I don't know. I'm only 34, I have a few years to go yet. But I think it's, I think it's the most important thing. Because even work is a kind of love. It's something that you love to do. Even workers, factory workers, I used to take pride in the way that I would do it. Even though I did it very fast, I would take a pride in the fact that I would do it exactly perfect as I could, So I think that, well, I guess I'm a little impetuous. Paula says. Exclusive. I think I am, because I have very few friends, but not to be exclusive. It's just that I like people, but for friends, I like few people. few people in Chicago.
Josie met you?
Well, I met him the year he retired. He had already retired. And I saw him for about a year and a half, 2 years, and we married in San Francisco. And his background, you know, his family, they were immigrants, and they had a very difficult time. And when he was young, he had a very difficult time. The only thing, he was a wonderful athlete, and he could hit a baseball. Anything thrown in his direction, he could hit. So he understood some things about me, and I understood some things about him, and we based our marriage on it. And I say some things. Well, I don't want to say that. I just say we understood some things about each other. He has a very sensitive nature in many respects. You know, one thinks of an athlete as being, I don't know, not having that, but they do. Our marriage wasn't a happy one. It ended in 9 months, unfortunately. I don't know what else to say. Do I feel happy in life? Let's see. Let's say I hope I'm finding happiness. Right? Well, for me, if I can realize certain things in my work, I come the closest to being happy, and I can say that also about my life. Well, it only happens, I think, in moments, sometimes when I'm working, and I'll be able to fulfill a scene truthfully, and then I think I'm the happiest. Well, I find it very stimulating to keep studying and working, but I'm not just generally happy. If I'm generally anything, I guess I'm generally miserable. I don't know. Sometimes, I think.
Do you like...
I don't know. I think sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. Which is natural, I guess, for everyone. I would like to be more sociable than I am. On some days. Well, sometimes I'll chat when I'm not pleased, but sometimes the work itself requires more that I'm quiet and to myself more. And other days, like doing a musical number, I try not to get too... I like to be more outgoing because that's what I have to express, and so I try to keep it general. I try to. Even if I feel like it or not, I'll try to make the effort to make contact with people around me. Yes, because I could easily be alone. It doesn't bother me to be alone. Some people I know, they don't like to be alone. I don't mind it. I need it as a rest, and yeah, it kind of refreshes myself. Yeah. And a rest. Yes, I think there's two things in human beings that they, as I think there is in myself, that they want to be alone, but they also want to be together. You know? Because I think I have also a gay side to me, also a sad side. And I think that's the way with people also. But there is something in people where they need solitude for a while.